So
You're paying the full
now,
because they know people be stacking. I know people that got it for 10 years still.
yeah.
So
So
can
it
you not
basically
stack it on Black Friday? So like when you say
no.
you can't stack it, you mean like because you could buy like 3 months of Xbox Ultimate for like $25, and you could
Mm-hmm.
buy like a couple of them and then put them on your account.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. So how much can you stack, or can you only like one
1 year.
card and that's it? One you could stack
One
up
year.
to a year.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I used to buy multiple years. So say it was 50% off. Say it was premium, and what the hell would premium be cut in half? $65 for premium was 50% off. I buy like 3 years at a
Yeah.
time, so
Well,
I
that's the
pay
old price.
one.
Now
Yeah,
it's
well,
like 160.
okay, well, whatever the hell that would
Holy
be.
fuck.
75. Wait,
Yeah.
80. You know what I
80.
mean, though.
Yep.
For 3
Yeah.
years,
Well,
though, 3 times.
Brett, it used to be $60 for the base. So PS Plus,
I never paid over 45. I usually pay
fuck, I
30.
forgot. Yeah, me too. I forgot what the base. There's 3 tiers: PS Plus, Essential,
Extra,
Extra,
essential,
and then
extra, and
Premium.
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 I
So
would pay for premium.
yes. So the difference between the three is essentials. You get you got cloud save, you get
Your monthly games and your discounts.
your
And
monthly games and
they
your
have other
discounts.
stuff too, like whatever skins for this game and that random shit.
Yeah,
You got to
those
go
are the
in. There's
packs.
actually a ton of stuff, but
Yeah. But so that used to be 60. So last summer, I think it was right around summertime, it went from $60 a year to $80 a year. But what we've been doing, a lot of us have, is we wait till like a Black Friday sale because that $60 went down to like 45 or $30. So we're like, fuck it, we'll get it for $30. So when they did the switch over from regular PS Plus to the what they have now, because they used to be PS Now, and then they merged those together in a way, then they basically cut the stacking off, or they didn't cut the stacking off, but people had years stacked and they had to pay a difference in order to get the different tiers that they wanted because they only had the one was PS Essential. Then they added 2 additional tiers. But the for Xbox, for example, what you're talking about, Brett, is I just did the same thing on Woot.com. They had a sale on Game Pass Ultimate. It's normally like a $45 thing that you get a Game Pass Ultimate for 3 months. I ended up paying 30 for it because Game Pass Ultimate now is $20 a month, right?
Yep.
So you
Yep.
save half the money. Now, if let's say Best Buy did the same deal, well, I just go buy it at Best Buy. The difference between Game Pass and PlayStation, as far as where you can buy it, with PlayStation, you can only buy it from PlayStation. They pulled all those cards or codes because you used to be able to go to GameStop and buy a PlayStation Plus subscription right then and there, or PS Now. They pulled all that shit from retailers. So the
Oh,
only
that's
way you can
whack.
do it is only through PlayStation. Exactly. So right now,
That's stupid.
PlayStation is going through a class action lawsuit, which they're probably going to lose. And we're all gonna see a fucking check for like 3 cents in about 10 years. And the class action lawsuit is exactly that. The only way you can buy digital games for PlayStation is through the PlayStation Store. So they're saying it's a monopoly, which it fucking is. And
Yeah.
because you're taking away the opportunity for businesses to compete. So if Walmart's doing a sale on PS Plus, Best Buy can be like, hey, Walmart's selling it for 50, let's do it for 45 and trying to get some sales. Not no more. So
Wow.
they fucked us. Yes, and that's my biggest complaint with the subscription service is, well, not my biggest complaint, but the thing that I really dislike about that is how people are out here fucking defending this shit. Like, bro, we're all PlayStation fans, bro. I'm a fucking pony too. But this shit right here is fucking crazy. You can only buy any games, doesn't matter, any digital game you want to buy, only on PlayStation or only through PlayStation. Or Xbox, I can go to Amazon right now and get a code for fucking Diablo and put the code in and I download the game, which is what I did for Street Fighter. I got Street Fighter for like $20.
shit. Last year I was paying $2.89 for a month of Game Pass.
Well, that too. I mean, the sales. But so yeah, so that's what's going on with that. So now, do you understand what's happening with that, Brett?
Oh, absolutely, and that's fucking dumb as shit.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's
But
been
it's
that
like-
way for 10 years though, where they always had discounts, and now it's like, oh, you already use it, now you don't. get it no more.
RPG says if CD Keys has PS codes. I don't think so, bro. I think they pulled everything from every retailer. Let me Google it real quick.
I didn't know they ever did.
Yeah, they used to have
But
PS Now. All right. So yeah, anything else you want to say about the PS Plus little thingy?
Nope. That's
give me my
That's crazy,
discounts, or
man.
I'm gonna be a essential bitch.
So yeah, it looks like CD Keys does offer some memberships, which is nice. I did not know this. So right now, what I'm looking at is basically 7% discount. That's the most. And they do have 12-month membership, 3 months membership, and 14 days memberships. And these all seem to be PS essential. So no premium and no extra. But I could be wrong because I'm not really looking at it. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is Insomniac announced the port of Spider-Man 2 over to PC, which drops January. You know the date, Nelson?
20th.
Sometime in January 20th. And on the online gamers are kind of having a little fit about this because they are disillusioned because there's no DLC coming out. So, little backstory: during the announcement, Insomniac said something along the lines of, "We are not working, we haven't been working on anything, but you know, and the PC port is coming over to, you know, PC as is, basically, like with no nothing else. They didn't change anything. It's just literally a port." So people got pissed off because they're like, wait a minute, where's our Venom DLC? Because last year there was a big hack into Insomniac and they leaked out, including a cut of Wolverine. The code got out there, so people were able to actually play the game with like an unfinished build, and they got all their shit. And in that information, we found out that Insomniac was working on a DLC for Spider-Man 2, which was a Venom DLC, which made a ton of sense because have you played Spider-Man 2, Brett?
I don't think he has a
I
PlayStation. He did?
I beat it. I
didn't
did
think he had a PlayStation.
I'm a gamer. I had one all the way up until July of this year.
Yes.
I
Brett
forced
has
myself to play it.
Yes, Brett has some issues, you know, with the consoles, and now he's just down to the Xbox. But yes, he's had a PlayStation. So you've played it, so you can tell that Venom. There's probably a little bit more to be told with Venom, right? I mean, we got to play as Venom, but it wasn't a lot. It's not like we got to play as Venom for the majority of the game. It was just a small portion of it. So a DLC with Venom made a ton of sense.
That was like the most shocking thing in that game when I actually got to play Venom 2. I was like, oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting. I was like, this is tits. I haven't been Venom since like Super Nintendo, dude. You know?
I remember at the time, me, you, Thrifty, were all playing the game, you know, at the same time. Well, everybody was, but we were talking back and forth while we were playing the game, and I mean, it was a good time. But so the rumor is that because those leaks came out, they just said, "Fuck it, we're not gonna do it anymore," which to me doesn't make any fucking sense because you could have changed it, right? It didn't have to be a specific Venom DLC.
Well,
Venom
actually, on their leak, it said Venom standalone game. It didn't say anything about DLC.
There was a DLC announced, but people just assume it was Venom. It wasn't necessarily a Venom DLC, but there was a DLC, and then there was a Venom standalone. Yes, but most people were saying, well, because you know Spider-Man 2, Venom standalone, there'll probably be a DLC that kind of introduces the next Venom game, and they'll probably go that route. But this is just he said, she said, right? We don't know.
Because they did that with Miles Morales, didn't they?
Carnage.
No,
the DLC was Carnage.
No, the Spider-Man 1 did, but Miles did not have DLC.
Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, Spider-Man 1 had three
DLCs. Yes. So
which I didn't really like the way they did it because they were like mini bites. So I bet you, like, let's say 40% of the people bought the first one, and the next one probably had 25% of people, and the third one probably only had like 15, which was me. But how many people really play as much many games as me? You know what I mean? It's hard to keep going with the game that long. People get distracted very easily.
Yep.
Well, I think those DLCs are more for the hardcore. You know what I'm saying? The fans, the
Yeah, I
Spider-Man
know, but a
fans.
standalone game would do a lot better.
I'll show you who's
It
heading
would,
for
but
a
that still
rainbow
doesn't
road.
excuse them not making a fucking
Chose not to
DLC.
say
And RPG
but you
says,
just said that.
Battle
Yeah,
Carnage
right.
Spider Verse. So, a Carnage
Start
DLC. What's the
talking,
plan?
boys.
I don't know how
Where
true
the
that is
heck
or
am
what,
I?
but the point
I thought that would be
is,
game 3, but
me too, but who knows? But the point is that I'm a little salty about it, right? One, because the Spider-Man DLC or the Spider-Man port got announced almost a year to the date over the PC. Then secondly, the game comes out a couple months from now, so it's a total of 15 months. So we went from 2 years to PC ports to now 15 months. And then while you're working on the PC port, what about us PlayStation console gamers who haven't had a first party game all fucking year? I mean, even Horizon came out with their fucking DLC less than a year after. So it's like
Gotta be
you're
kidding
giving the
me.
PC people, by the way, they're also paying for the game $10 cheaper than we had to pay for it. They're getting the best version of the game
that's still a
technically,
lot
right?
for
'Cause
a game that's 15 months old, though.
not on PC, it's brand new on, just like when we get like
Well,
for
they won't
example,
pay
I was
anything
talking,
for it because they'll just hack it.
they'll just hack it. But I was telling Henry while we were playing Warhammer today that the Ascent. I was telling him about the other game. I was like, oh, it's like the Ascent, and then Henry forgot that, or he didn't know that it came over to PlayStation. He thought it was an Xbox exclusive. I was like, yeah, it was an Xbox exclusive for like 3 months, and like you
It was
said,
like
oh, that's
9
all.
because I was waiting for it because I couldn't find
Oh, was
anybody
it
to play
9?
with me on Xbox. Yeah, it was one of
So
their longest
yeah,
exclusives actually because usually their exclusives only last a couple months.
yeah, super short. I mean, even Brett, what's the game that's coming out in November?
Soccer's supposed to be 3 to
Stalker.
4
Stalker
months.
2.
Yes, that one's only going to be like 3 or 4 months. So, but I'm just like, we haven't seen anything first party, which doesn't mean they haven't fed us because we've gotten a shit ton of third and second party games from PlayStation.
Yeah, this
Whatever
is
they
actually one
can't
of the better
produce,
years, but
yes.
they're
But
trickling
it's
out what they're showing too. Like, all right, like they gotta have a show, like a show to show at least a couple, 25 and 26, which we actually know most 25 really, but
yeah. But yeah, it's just like, man, you guys are porting this shit over, and what about us over here with a redheaded stepchild? It's like, come on, man. Bert, what do you think about that? What do you think about Spider-Man 2 getting a PC port basically a year from release, and them not doing a DLC for the game?
Uh, well, I stand on, I love it when more people have access to games on other platforms. So I'm kind of excited for the fact that PlayStation is doing it. I know a lot of people don't want to see it happen, but as a gamer first, I think it's pretty incredible. Even as an Xbox guy, I look forward to when PlayStation people and PC people get to play games that were made by Xbox studios.
So I was gonna cut you
But
off, but I'll let you finish, Brett. But Nelson, you see how he took a fucking shot at us right there, bro?
yeah.
This motherfucker said, as a gamer first, like we're not fucking gamers first. Okay, I'm glad you
This
said
is
that,
a
Brett,
help.
because
This is a selfish hobby. Fuck them PC
yeah,
niggas.
fuck the exactly, fuck them. Now I have a question for you, Brett, because
yep.
I've you're the first person that I talk to, like, regularly, that has that view where you think games should go everywhere. Now
Yeah.
the question to you then is, then why the fuck do different console makers should exist? Why not just one?
Well, here's the thing. I believe that exclusivity should exist for certain games. Like in my opinion, when it comes to Xbox, there are the big three. And I consider these games the three games that kind of molded Xbox into what Xbox is today, and that would be Halo, Gears of War, and Fable. I am absolutely,
Yeah,
as
but
an Xbox
they
guy,
bought all 3 of those. Those would have been
I know
multi-plats.
I understand that, but
You know what I'm saying?
I as an Xbox guy am okay with any game coming to PlayStation, Nintendo, PC. But I think though, if you take those three games, even one of those games, me as someone who said I would never get rid of my Xbox, I absolutely would, because it would at that point serve no purpose that the PlayStation.
You might as well get a head start because it's coming.
I just hope and pray that those three just don't.
It's coming.
And that's why when people say they're going multi-plat, if you look at all the games that technically have that are coming to PlayStation, are all games that were never out yet. You know what I'm saying? They're not games that have been out for. It's not like it's the third, fourth, fifth game. Like Avowed, it's the first Avowed. You know, you don't have Halo. You know, I can't see it happening. I hope it doesn't, but if it does, I promise you, my Xbox is gone. It's absolutely gone. It is.
I'll start getting a freaking quote on it because you're gonna have to have it gone.
You know that
Nelson, you want to
Fable,
respond to that?
Fable was a second party deal, right? They bought Halo, but Fable, Xbox wanted it exclusive. They were pitching it out there. They paid for the publishing, and then they bought the studio at the end of the second one. They didn't own that studio.
No.
That would have been a third party game.
But it's
Forza
still a title
Horizon,
when you think of
they
when
didn't-
you think
Yeah, but how did
when
it
you
get
think
that
of,
way?
like,
By making
when you
exclusive.
think of, go ahead.
But that's
Go
how
ahead.
all games start. Sony didn't used
No, I
to own
agree.
Naughty Dog, Crash. That's how a lot of games start. Shit, look at 360. Everyone talking Gears. Gears was supposed to be on PlayStation. Did you know
Well,
that?
Xbox stepped in.
Yep. Xbox stepped in and offered them a deal.
Well-
like, we'll pay for
Well,
the
let me give
publishing, but
you.
we want this
Let
shit
me give you
exclusive.
one better. Let me give you one better. Speaking of Spider-Man, they went to Xbox first. Xbox turned them down. Same thing with Knights of the Old Republic remake. Xbox turned them down.
And that's why I
Said,
have
"We're
an
too
Xbox
busy."
One right now, is to play fucking KOTOR, a 20-year-old game. I'm not even bullshitting.
But see, you know, and I'm glad this brought up. This came up, Rick. Good job on that. Is, you know, look, I agree to an extent, right? I'm a gamer first too, but I'm a selfish gamer. And the reason why I don't want my games going everywhere is basically the same problems that we have with third party. Third party games, 9 times out of 10, are buggy messes. They're, you know, they don't have the 30, 60, 40 options. You know, they're just not. You don't really get a ton of third party games that are showcase games. The ones that are like, man, this right here is a freaking, it's a phenomenal, you know, from top to bottom, from the polish to the story to the gameplay, all that. You don't really see that too much with third party. Think about the games that we've been talking for 20, 30 years. It's Gears, Halo, you know, Last of Us, you know, shit like that. Those are the games that stand through the test of time. Not saying that third party games aren't good, because obviously there's more than I can count, right?
More of them, but you think, take the top 60 games between the 360 and the PS3 era, half of those are exclusive to one platform or the other. And that's a
Exactly.
very small portion of the overall games, but it's half of the bangers, so to
Yes,
speak.
exactly. So when you have exclusives, which
It
by the
gives
way,
these
are-
publishers incentive to invest in their platform too, instead of just taking the
Yes.
money home and fucking putting it in their piggy bank.
Yes. So for example, another big problem that I have with Xbox is because of them being so shit at what they do, they are hurting the game industry in more ways than one. They're not just hurting themselves, they're hurting the game industry. Because as you've noticed in the last couple of years, games have been skipping Xbox. They're just like, you know what, we're not going to do an Xbox port. They're just, the numbers aren't there. It's not worth investing. Well, since they are already going to go to PlayStation, do you think that they are going to work a little bit less because now they don't have to do multiple ports? You know, they don't have to have a comparison between the two consoles. They're like, oh, that's good enough. Let's just ship it. And we see a lot of that as well.
Run
where
best in the
games-
pro.
Exactly. And now, and that was my argument with the Pro. With the Pro, it was, I'm not saying the Pro isn't needed or anything like that, but what I'm saying is that
Well, you don't need it. You don't need a lot of things.
No, I'm
That
saying
guy I
as far
seen,
as performance.
and I never see this in Minnesota, but a guy driving a Lamborghini in Minnesota, he don't need that shit. But I bet you he's having
No.
a good time.
But
I've never seen it. That was the first Lambo I've ever seen. I come home from work and I was like, "Is that a fucking Lamborghini in Minnesota? Bitch, it's gonna snow soon. You got a $1.2 million car.
They're everywhere, bro. But the
Not here.
with the Pro, the reason that the hardware has to do the heavy lifting is because these fucking developers are not optimizing their games as well as they should. So now PlayStation has to say, okay, we got to come out with the pisser, we got to do other shit. Here's the fucking Pro. But if they fucking optimize, because look, and my argument with the Pro is, I'm fine with the PS5 OG because I have my 30, 40, 60. And 40 to me is a sweet spot. Now, of course, I would like 60 at 4K, but I'm not going to spend the $700 to do so. But I'm cool with the 40. Why aren't more games giving us all those options like PlayStation for first-party games do? And it's simple. They don't want to optimize for that shit. Just like Todd Howard did not want to give us 60 when the fucking game came first, Starfield. And what was his bullshit reason? Is an artistic fucking whatever the fuck he said, whatever lie he fucking said, right? Because what they do, they fucking fix that shit and they gave us
Forever
60.
to optimize for the Series S, and they don't want to just come out and say that. That's what it is.
No, exactly.
Because it's a lot of
that.
fucking work. They got to cut down shit to get it to work. I know how the development works. I've been saying it since day one. Everyone was like, "Oh, the GPU's weak on that thing." That's not the issue. Ask any developer if that's fucking developed the game for more than a week in his life. That RAM is an issue.
I'll play your game.
Yeah. Thank you, RPG. Creative choice. But Xbox, you know, doing what they're doing is hurting more than just their brand. It's hurting the game industry in general. And now you have people like PlayStation who have to step it up and come out with a fucking pisser technology so these games can run better because these developers aren't fucking optimizing the shit as they should. And that's a fucking problem. So exclusives are very important for that reason. I mean, just that reason alone is the biggest, to me, is the biggest reason of why exclusives are important. Now, of course, I want more people to play it. It's real simple. Buy a fucking PlayStation. You know, I mean, it's that fucking simple, and I get it. Not everybody can afford it. But gaming is not a cheap hobby. I mean, we have subscription services that help with that, where, hey, pay $20 a month and you get this many games to play on there. Whether you like those games or not, it's better than none. Better than when I was a kid, right? We only had Blockbuster. And if Blockbuster didn't have the game you fucking wanted, or it was rented out, meaning they didn't have it anymore, you had to come back next week and hope that a copy was there, right? Like Grand Theft Auto. I think I went back to Blockbuster for like a month straight trying to get fucking Grand Theft Auto Vice City till my mom finally just bought it for me for Christmas. And but yeah, man, exclusives are very important. I understand exactly what you're saying though about more people getting to play it. But remember, gaming isn't a fucking charity. Gaming is you want it, you gotta buy it, bro. It's that fucking simple. And it sucks that you can't play it. I get it. This game is a masterpiece, but you know, like I wish everybody can drive a Lambo, but unfortunately that's not the case. I want everybody to eat filet mignon every day, but unfortunately that's not the case. So we cannot apply things to gaming that we would never apply to our daily lives because we know it doesn't work that way.
Yep.
You want
Yeah, my Chevy dealer. What the fuck? You know what I mean? It's yeah. Hey, why ain't the Castlevania anime series on my HBO Max?
yeah.
You know what I'm
Because it's a
saying?
Netflix thing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Because they paid
Netflix
for it.
thing. They paid for it, and look, and another thing too with exclusive is people forget the big reason for exclusives is to sell.
From the opposition.
Yes, exactly. So exclusives are needed. Exclusives is what pushes the gaming industry technology forward. Is our exclusives, because guess what? Anybody can make a game, make it compatible, or make it as graphically impressive as a mobile game, and they much rather do that and get away with it, right? Because look, investing a shit ton of money, investing a shit ton of time to make these games, when you can just do half of the effort and make a shit ton of money. Of course they would love to do that, but they can't because they have to compete with first party and they got to compete with other third party games. So that's why exclusives are important. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but as much as I want others to play it, and also I just want to say, PC dudes are fucking weird. They don't deserve shit.
They are
Fuck
fucking
them
weird.
dudes. fucking out here playing as fucking rhino dicks, trying to fucking chase like they're for what
Go
are
play
they,
some
furries?
banana.
Yes, go
Furry
play some
friends?
bananas. Furry friends, like they're just fucking
Fuzzy
weirdos, bro.
furry Hitler.
And they and look, and
These
those
are real
guys,
games.
those guys love to pirate games as much as they say they don't. But take a look at the highest selling games on PC. They're all old ass games. They're all games that are super cheap. It's very rare that a $60-$70 game goes up and is in the top spot for more than a month. It just
Right.
doesn't happen. So developers are saying, okay, why do you think that console gets a lot of AAA shit? Because developers know that's where the money's at. Indies, great for PCs because PC dudes love spending $10 to get a
It's really
fucking
not
indie.
great for PC. You know, there's 14,000 indies released every year on Steam, and only 700 of them make over $100,000, which is
Yeah.
like one dude's salary for like 1 year. You know what I mean? After benefits and stuff. So, yeah, like 200 probably indies out of 14,000 actually make money.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And you gotta
actually make
remember,
money.
if you're making an indie game, like I always bring up the dude that worked on Spider-Man for the PS2. What he does now is he works out of his fucking basement and he puts out 2 to 4 games a year on the Nintendo Switch because Nintendo makes it very easy to publish games on there, and he makes a decent living off of that. I think he said he makes close to 100 grand a year. So for one dude making games in his crib, fuck, why not? You know, and I think that's a good a good way for or PC is a good route to take if you're that kind of person, or somewhere like Nintendo, where if you do something like that on PlayStation or even Xbox, the chances of you selling anything is gonna be very fucking slim because
Yep.
gamers have expectations. What was the other thing that you said earlier, Brett, that I wanted? I don't know. But speaking, because we have you here, you're an Xbox gamer. How are you feeling about, because this podcast is called the State of Game, and basically how the gaming industry, like a State of the Union. How do you feel about where Xbox is right now at this current moment?
Uh, I think there's a couple releases coming out that have to hit and have to fire on all cylinders for specific gamers, or else they're gonna lose I think they're gonna lose a pretty significant player base. I really do. I think they should do.
I think most of them are already gone, but I get what
there's
you're saying.
still there's still a few, but I think that would be the icing on the cake for a lot of them. Me personally, I just game. I mean, I'm working on getting a PS5. When I get that, I'm gonna get back to. I gotta beat the final boss on Stellar Blade. I want to jump back into Helldivers 2. There's a couple games on there that I want to get back, to playing and beat, and I still got to beat Returnal, which in my opinion is my second favorite game of all time. I got to get ready for the new Ghost. And honestly, the reason
What
why
about
I like
Death Stranding
Returnal,
2?
I'll tell you this. I did not like Death Stranding 1.
I don't think anybody did. No, there was
I did
people that
not.
did, but
So that game is not like something that I'm really paying attention to. That's why, like, I'm not like an exclusive game can never push me to a console, because 9 out of 10 games that I play aren't exclusive games. A lot of the exclusive games that I play on both ends, I don't really enjoy. Like The Last of Us, I couldn't get into any of those games. I didn't like Spider-Man 1, I didn't like Spider-Man 2, but I liked Spider-Man Miles Morales. I love Ghost of Tsushima is honestly my favorite game. So my two favorite games of all time are actual PlayStation exclusives. Ghost of Tsushima being my number 1, and then Returnal being my number 2. And Returnal I like a lot because I hated roguelike games. That and those turn-based strategy games I hated. And then when I played that, I was like,
Does this road even
this
go anywhere?
is that like graphically it was amazing. Like the gameplay, the mechanics, the movement, everything was just felt so nice. It felt so different. I couldn't help but like just keep playing. So like that game, it's gonna be hard for like another roguelike